Awesome. So, William Jr Dougan, the European cowboy.
Yes, sir.
Welcome on.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
So, how many times you been in Australia now?
Probably, I don't know, 5 times or something.
Yeah.
6 times. I think 2018 was the first time. Yeah, and then probably every year except COVID. Yeah, like 5 times or something.
And tell us about the success you've had over here since over your 5 trips.
Um, yeah, it was all right. Like, well, I won, I think, two pro shows,
Yeah.
like Merijic and Nirim. Yeah, Nirim, I think, last year. No, so yeah, it's been good and just having a blast, like riding bulls as much as I can and having a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So, tell us about your story with rodeo in Europe. Like, a lot of people, you get it all the time at rodeos when you come
Yeah.
over here, like, oh, you just don't ride bulls over there. Like,
No, for sure. Like, first of all, every time people like, you Canadian or something, like, got a weird accent, like, no, I'm from Europe. And they're like, there's no cowboys in Europe. I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's not big over there, but there's definitely cowboys and rodeo cowboys as well. So, yeah, there's probably been rodeos going on in Europe from like the 50s and 60s. I know there was a couple of guys and a French guy, Charlie, who spent like 20 years in the States being a bronc rider, and then he did some shows in Europe. But then it really took off. My dad, the moment he got born, he wanted to be a cowboy, and it was just in him because he didn't have like television or internet like to influence him. Like a lot of people get influenced these days, or they see cowboy shows and whatever. But it was just in him, and of course in Belgium, nobody like he couldn't. If I think he was 16, he wanted like a weekend job. And he wasn't allowed to wear a cowboy hat anywhere else except for the amusement park. That's like 20 minutes from the ranch. So he went over there, looked for a job, and he got a job at a pizza joint. And they allowed him to wear his cowboy hat. So he was there selling pizzas. And then one day, like a real American cowboy walked in and for a pizza, and my dad, like, because my dad could speak English, he served him in English. And then the cowboy's like, what do you make here, son? And he's probably like, I don't know, like $20 a day or something. And then that cowboy went, oh, I'll give you 25 if you just follow me around all day and translate. Because that cowboy was a friend from Larry Mayan. Like he's
yeah,
a
I met
multiple.
him in Greece at
Yeah,
your dad's wedding.
yeah.
Mm.
Him. And he was there to set up a full Western and rodeo show for like a 6 week span during the Belgian holiday. Because that amusement park was like a Western themed thing. So my dad helped set that up for a number of weeks, and then by the time they finished and the show was good to go, the Cowboys like, all right, William, you can either go back selling pizzas, or you can like get on Bulls and Bronx for me every day for the next couple of weeks. So my dad's like, all right, I'll get on Bulls and Bronx, but yet no idea how or what. But like they took him under his wing for the next 6 weeks, and with that knowledge, he built a rodeo ranch in Belgium and just helped grew the sport
Yeah,
up in Europe. Yeah.
yeah, because your dad was telling me a yarn where he was actually using seatbelts as horse flanks.
Yeah, like whatever, like seat belts and like saddles made different, but it worked. Like they,
Yeah,
they figured it out. Yeah.
and since then it's just grown leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it not straight away. Like it stayed real small because like my dad made it like a weekly thing in Belgium, but not really anywhere else in Europe. But there was then probably one cowboy who was doing the same in Italy, one who was doing the same in France. And then especially the last 10, 15 years, it really has taken off. And now we have like a proper circuit. You can probably go to between 20 and 30 rodeos a year. And like the bulls are getting better. The broncs are pretty good. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's going in the right direction for
yeah,
sure.
awesome.
Like, oh,
And the biggest show over there would be Ecky Blues.
yeah, like it's a big, Eki Blue is a huge country festival. I think it gets like 35,000 people a day for 5 days straight.
Yeah, that's
And
massive.
yeah, but it's like more of a festival than a rodeo, but they do the rodeo during the festival.
Yeah.
But it's the one where like all the contractors come together and all the cowboys can enter up, and yeah, it's probably
So
the
they more
biggest one.
structure it like a PBR does, like get all the best bulls from all the contractors
Yeah,
over
yeah.
Europe,
That's
and then
probably because most other shows in Europe, for the moment, still like if like one contractor does it and he has probably 10 to 15 bulls good enough to set up a bull riding. So there's only 10 to 15 guys that are able to enter up. But in Eki Blues, that's the one where all the contractors really get together and the money's in it too to pay them all to go there. So yeah, that's the biggest one for sure. Yeah.
and you full cowboy in Europe, like
Yeah.
that's you every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Like
So at the ranch, you do trail rides.
yeah, we do like we do trail rides, we give horse riding lessons. Like of course we take care of the horses. We have a couple bulls and broncs and we buck out every Saturday all year round. And then we got a bar and a little western shop. So yeah, it's fun. It's a different place. Like you've been there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Different vibe and like no, it's a good place to be. Yeah, I like it.
It you wouldn't expect you're in Belgium when you're at your ranch.
No,
It's
it's different. Huh?
yeah, it
Yeah,
feels like you're in
yeah.
America.
That's what everybody says. Like even a lot of because we're close. Belgium's a small country. We're close to all the big cities and all that. And a lot of city people just come over for a trail ride or to have a beer, and they're like, "Fuck, this feels good just to get away out of it all." Like, it doesn't feel like yeah, Belgium.
Yeah,
No.
and you have two rodeos at your ranch a year.
Normally, yeah, we got two
Yeah,
big ones, like one in end of August or early September or Indian summer show, and then one a week or two before Christmas.
yeah,
Yeah, they're the two biggest ones, but then we buck all year round. Yeah.
yeah. And tell us about your accolades over in Europe. You've like multi-European bull riding
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah, it's um probably I started riding bulls when I was 16, but then not really traveling till I was 18 years old. I was just riding bulls at the ranch. And then when I was 18, I went to Gary LeFew's ranch up in California
Yeah,
for a month, and I got on probably more bulls there in 1 month than I did in the 2 years before that.
yeah,
And that really like helped me grow my confidence and all that. And then once I got back to Europe, I was old enough to have a driver's license, so I could actually travel the rodeos. And then I won the most like money or points that year in Europe. And then I went on to do it another 4 times after that. Yeah, that's pretty
and
cool.
probably one of the biggest questions you get when you're over here is the caliber of bulls you have over there.
Yeah,
You still have good bulls. I've been on
yeah,
all your bulls
yeah.
over there, but you just don't have the amount.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
Like we got, if you could kind of compare it with Australia. Let's say you have a bull ride with 20 people and then 20 bulls. There's probably, let's say, at the moment still 15 novi bulls and only five like proper open bulls.
yeah,
But 20 years ago, there wouldn't have been any open bulls. So
yeah.
like we're definitely going in the right direction. Like,
And probably the one that's leading the forefront in the breeding would be Stefano.
yes,
Yeah,
For sure. Stefano from the 4S ranch. He's like bit east of Paris. He used to be a real good bareback rider and a bull rider himself, but he's got a passion for breeding bulls, and he's
yeah.
just been breeding like with all European um like bulls and cows and all that. But he's got a few like buckers, like
And he's been doing like full embryos and everything of just
everything. Yeah,
what he has
yeah,
just to try to grow it as quick as possible.
yeah, for sure. And he is because when I first started out, and because he always brings the bulls when we do our show too. I remember he had good bulls for like 10 years ago. In our mind, they were good bulls.
Yeah,
But if he brings his bulls now, not one bull from back then would probably make it in his pen today. Maybe
yeah.
one or two, but like so. And that's only 10 years of breeding.
Mm.
And like, so he's doing it pretty quick. Like year by year, he's getting better and better at it. Yeah.
And then we partnered together and were able to get a bull of mine over
Yeah.
to Europe. So once you and Stefano and a few other bull breeders over there,
Yeah. That,
it should really boost you and
it's
probably
gonna
speed
change
you
the
up
game
10 years.
at least. Because yeah, your bull boomstick, he's yeah proper rank like
Mm.
bucks, and for sure it's the first time in history actually that
Yeah,
there's like a professional bull or rodeo bull coming over to Europe. So yeah, thanks for that for
nah.
going through all the shit. But no, it's gonna change the game because like we've got good cows, and if we can breed with him, it's gonna, like you say, it's gonna put us 10, 15 years ahead
Yeah,
to what
straight
we know
away.
for sure.
Mm.
So it's gonna, yeah. Now it's just up to the riders to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get left behind if they don't step it up.
But use with your practice every week, like you're just getting too many guys to the amount of bulls
Yeah,
that you have.
yeah,
Like,
for sure. Like it's a problem, but a luxury problem. I'd rather
yeah,
have it that way than have like 10 bulls and only two guys showing up to get on them.
yeah,
Like, but we have at our place, I think we average probably 12 to 15 bull riders every weekend that want to get on, and then a couple bronc riders too. But yeah, I only have 9 bulls at the moment, so it's not enough. But we'll try to invest in a couple more, and yeah, see how we go.
And you just bought some new broncs?
Yeah, yeah, bought some broncs from a contractor up in Italy. He had real good broncs, but he moved to the States to just to live his life over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we have his broncs at the ranch now, and that really helped boost the bronc riding as well. Yeah.
And I noticed every time I've been over, you always have like a lot of Americans over there. Is that with the army base or something?
Yeah, there's I think there's an army base 3 hours from us in Germany somewhere. I don't know the name of the town, but yeah, they have a lot of like country boys and cowboys, and then they think, oh, we're in Europe, there's nothing here. And then if they find us on social media or whatever, they show up or hit me up like, can we come over and ride or even just have a beer? And so yeah, there's always a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, pretty lucky that you had the American over, especially the first trip I did.
Yeah, that's a wild story actually. Because that was 2018, I think,
I
first
think so,
time you came
yeah.
over.
So I'd only been riding bulls for 6 months.
Yeah,
Like, because I started riding bulls like at Gary LeFew's in the States.
and that was in
that's what,
March or something. And then
yeah,
our show was in July or August, so
yeah,
end of July, I think, that year. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I remember because that the first one you drew, you almost rode him. I think it was Fast and Furious from Stefano.
yeah,
And then you drew best bull in Europe at the time, and probably still now, even Java.
yeah.
And yeah, what that
And
was.
people talked about him like the boogeyman too,
Yeah,
which didn't help. But
no, he's a
he's
cool
just
one.
an open bull in
Yeah,
like in everywhere else.
he's one you want to get on.
Oh,
Actually,
for sure.
he's a cowboy bull. Like
Yeah,
he's
like
just nice.
everywhere you'd ride him for 84, 85
Yeah,
bucks. That he's that bull, not
he's that.
even just in Europe. Like
No,
he's just a good bull.
yeah, he's a good bull, and like he looks the part too. He's like
Yeah,
big and
he's massive.
massive.
Mm.
Yeah, but he feels good when you ride him. But back then, yeah, 'cause what happened? Because you fell and
So yeah, I felt like he come round and then bucked me off over the front, and I fell flat on my stomach. And his back legs come around and stepped on my bum and cut my bum hole in half through my gooch and then down the front of my leg and nicked my femoral artery.
that's unreal.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like you said, that's an accident that kills most people,
Mm.
like literally.
Yeah.
Because what you lose blood. How much blood do you lose if
They reckon if you fully sever that artery, it's 4 minutes
till you die?
till you die.
Because like you said, talking before about them Americans showing
Mm.
up, like literally 2 days before that rodeo, an American guy who was stationed in Spain hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm army guy from Spain, but like I'm a cowboy, and I seen about your rodeo. Can I come?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure. Just show up and like come behind the shoots, help out, do what you want." But he turned out to be a Navy SEAL or a medic
A
for
medic,
a
yeah.
medic for the Navy SEAls. And literally, if he Zach was his name, if he
Yeah.
hadn't been there, you probably
Oh, for sure.
would have died.
Like,
Like,
'cause I that happened. Then I ran to the fence, and then the bullfighters started screaming because they could,
see the
like, because
blood.
it ripped all my jeans off me,
Yeah.
and they could just see the blood like everywhere. So then I think the Geordie, the bareback guy, pulled me up
And then
over.
Stefano was there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then was it shooting like 2 shoots long?
Minimum like
Yeah.
3 4 meters at least. Like, yeah.
And I didn't think it was that bad because I couldn't see it. Like
No,
I was laying on my back and
it was wild. Because Zach saw it and he literally put his hand like till here, probably in your leg,
Yeah.
holding that artery. It's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
I've seen some wrecks riding bulls and doing whatever, but that, yeah, I've never seen that before, and I hope I never have to see it before. That was
But
something else.
it was. I really didn't think it was that bad. Like even when I was talking to like
Yeah,
the medics and that when they got there, it
because you stayed like
I was conscious the
you
whole
was
time.
conscious the whole time. Yeah,
Mm.
that was crazy.
And then what was the lady? She's like, "What's the pain out of 10?"
Yeah, 3. You were laying there like blood everywhere. Yeah, 3. But did you went into a shock or not after?
Yeah, so it was once they got me stable, then they loaded me in the ambulance, and then we were probably halfway there, and lucky like the hospital's just down the road,
Yeah,
and then it was the weirdest feeling from like my fingertips and my toes, they just start going cold, and like because it's sucking all the blood to get it,
to your vital organs.
yeah,
Yeah,
to make you survive. So like, and it just happens like that, and then it just starts, and then I started like, I obviously would have went grey and white,
yeah,
and then just start like sweating, and the lady that was in there, she mustn't have ever seen something so severe, and
yeah,
she started panicking, thinking she had to pull clothes off me. And then lucky Zach was there, and he's like, "No, he's going into shock. Like we need to get him warm, like all around his chest and that,
yeah.
to make it easier on his body to sort of do,
To protect you,
yeah,
like, yeah,
to protect me." And then
that was something else. And it was wild because we came to the hospital that same day or the day later, don't remember. And you were just like positive, smiling, like
yeah,
whatever. I was, because what? How long were you in hospital for? Like a week or something? 10 days?
uh, yeah, I think it was just under 2 weeks.
2, yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
then you
it
just,
was probably 2 months until I could sit down.
it's
Like,
crazy. Yeah.
because it was like 68 external stitches and not including everything internal. And they had to do like a full bum reconstruction and everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's probably lucky that it did happen over there because you have awesome
That was a good, yeah,
medical.
it's a good hospital
Mm.
there. Like, because that doctor, even I heard a customer that now she rides at RN. She told me she works in that hospital or does something, I'm not sure. And she's like, yeah, they still use that accident from you in like their clinics to like extra schooling for certain doctors and all that. Because like she said, most people, if not for that other doctor, would have given you like a
A colostomy bag.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Think about
I'm
it.
so lucky that, like, glad that I had that sort of medical
Yeah.
professionals to do that. Because
Yeah, you don't want anything like that to happen, but if it does happen, you want it to happen
yeah,
somewhere that has the ability to fix it. Like,
and like at least you have like a good healthcare system. Same in
yeah,
Australia, we have a great healthcare
yeah,
system. Not like the states. Like
we
you
pay $2
spend,
million.
yeah, you spend 2 nights in hospital and it's $200,000
Yeah,
or something crazy. Like if
yeah,
you don't have insurance. So
that was wild. Because, like you say, you can sit down, but you still like. Because 2 weeks later, we went to Eki Blues, that big rodeo, and
yeah,
you're just laying down in the car, then drinking beers, like walking around all day, get tired, just lay down on the field, like behind the chutes, just sleep, get up, drink some more beer.
yeah. Well, I don't really like taking painkillers, so
No.
I'd sort of just wake up and breakfast was a beer, and then I'd sort of just drink and go and see, and then probably lunchtime you'd find me asleep behind some hay bales
Yeah.
somewhere because I can't sit down and have a rest.
But then I remember that maybe second or third day of Eki Blues, we were all down by the campfire and everybody was a bit drunk and you were just in your jocks dancing above the campfire, not realizing you just got 64 stitches up there. Like, what are you doing, man? Everybody was like, oh, hold it. You were like, that was wild.
A little bit of can courage fixes everything.
Yeah. But wasn't the worst the flight back, like sitting on a plane
Yeah,
for
it was hard. Well, because what it's you're 24 hours in transit.
yeah.
Mm.
Oof. Yeah,
So
that's Crazy if you think about it. Crazy. You went on like just you. How long have you been riding now? 6 years, something.
Yeah, probably coming up 6 years
Yeah.
since I started riding bulls.
You've
Yeah.
had like good times, but also like a lot of rough times. Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't. It's not a trophy I want, but I reckon I'm probably the most hurt bull rider that I've known of. Anyway, like
Yeah, by far. Uh, For sure, the one I know, like
yeah, from
it's
that,
next
and then
level.
I've broken me back, and I
S-
don't know,
Scalped yourself.
scalped and breaking arms, elbows, and how was that time? I rode that Red Bull over there, and when I had that bad get off and flipped, and then landed on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And then the next day you're like, oh, I've got this good acupuncture guy. And you took me down there and he massaged me and stuck needles in me back. And then I get back to Australia and I snap my scapula in half.
Yeah, but you're just like, yeah, it's just a bit stiff and all that. So I didn't think it was broken. Uh, Putting
Yeah.
needles in a broken shoulder massage.
I don't know if it's really tough or really dumb. I think it's.
A bit of both. Yeah. If you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough.
Have you had your fair share of injuries?
Yeah, yeah, not as severe as you, but like at bad shoulders, like they kept dislocating all the time, so I had surgery on it, and then just the usual like I tore tendons in my hand, like broke a couple of ribs, and now I'm the worst is probably my groin
Yeah.
because it's nothing that hurts too bad or everything, but if like your groin, if you don't have your groin, you can't ride. Like just try sitting on a horse like without using your groin muscles, you can't, let alone ride a bull.
Yeah.
So that's been bothering me for the last year. So I'm gotta let that heal up, and then we're gonna be good to go. Yeah.
Because probably one of the coolest ones you got is because you had your shoulder fully operated on, and then
Ah,
you had the pins and that, and then you come over to Australia and what bull was it?
oh,
Gary McPhee's.
yeah, one like everybody. I got the draw, and then everybody's like, "Which one you got?" And I'm like, "Yeah, number 50." He didn't even have a name. It was just like 50 or something. They're all like, "Oh shit." I'm like, but and then everybody was like, "Yeah, but you should ride him. He's just like he should be a Novi bull. Actually, I don't know why he's in the open." But then I saw him because it was during the Tri Series, and I had him the last day, and the first 2 days, like good
Well,
riders had him, and they
yeah,
all
well,
bucked off him. Or Will Purcell was,
Adkins got on him,
yeah.
and he's I've been on that bull, and he's just tough. He
Yeah,
doesn't feel good.
he doesn't look like much, but he didn't feel fun. But anyway, like, I had him in Chiltern, I think it was, and then he got me down, and I landed on my back, and he was kicking, and when he came down, he like landed straight on my shoulder, the one that had surgery because there was spins in there and everything, and just broke like smashed it all to pieces because now it so yeah so it was fucked, and then they took me to hospital here in Australia, and they said, yeah, we can't do anything about it, like it needs surgery and all that. So they like wrapped me up, and then I flew back probably 3 days later or something, got to Belgium, and I remember it was a Friday, and I landed at noon. My dad called me. He's like, yeah, just come to the range and enjoy it because at midnight we got to shut down the bar because then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And like I was supposed to go to hospital the day after, and they called me like, yeah, you can't come. You got to like stay in quarantine for 2 weeks and all that. But it was proper fucked. So
Yeah.
I'm just sitting
Well,
there, shit, what's gonna happen? And then eventually 2 weeks later, I like or no, I was on the phone with the doctor, and he told me he's seen the pictures that they took in Australia, and he's like, yeah, it's not looking good. I'm going to be honest, like you're going to need like reconstructive surgery, and we're going to take bones from your hip and all that, and you won't be able to lift your arm above shoulder level anymore. And I'm like, not ideal. But then yeah, 2 weeks pass, I go to the hospital, and they take new pictures and all that, and then that same doctor is like, yeah, I reckon like it started healing, like a couple bones like changed place, but they're healing, and how like can you move? And it felt all right, and now I can do like everything again.
yeah. Wow.
And so I got lucky. Like if not for COVID or having to go quarantine, they would have done the surgery. And
Big major surgery that you probably didn't need, or
yeah,
you
and
didn't need in the end.
yeah, it didn't
Mm.
need in the end because now I'm lucky in my butt because them two pins that were in there before, like from that first surgery, they're up in four pieces now, and one's like here between my ribs somewhere, the other's in my back somewhere. But my body accept them, so
Yeah,
like,
wow.
and it doesn't hurt anymore. So
Yeah,
no,
because I've seen the scan and it's got the floating screws just
yeah,
in your body
in my
somewhere.
body somewhere. But no, like it all worked out in the end. Like feels good now. Yeah.
I touching back on the ranch again. You do like a lot of movies and like the ranch has been used as props
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, my dad used to do it for a couple of years now, and I think he once did a stunt, and they probably asked him because he was the only cowboy in Belgium, probably the only one crazy enough to do it. They had this show, I think it was, I can't remember what it was for, but anyway, they needed a cowboy on a horse on top of a roof of a big building, and the only way to get there was with an elevator. But can you imagine like going in an
A
elevator with
steel
a
box with a
steel
horse.
box with a horse, like going up to the top floor and then getting on, like walk on roofs? And yeah, so my dad did that, and it all worked out perfectly. And then since then, like we had great contact with the like movie and
Yeah.
show business. So we work a lot for like TV shows and all that. Yeah.
And what's some of the biggest sort of shows you've done? Probably what was that TV show that was #1 in Belgium on Netflix?
Yeah, it's called Undercover,
Yeah.
and then they used Orange as the main location for the second season of the show. It was about like two brothers who had a ranch, but it was kind of like a cover up business for their like uh,
Under drugs and
yeah,
yeah.
like drugs and weapons and all that. So that was really cool. That they took probably 4 months of shooting at the
Yeah.
ranch, but it was tough because like we couldn't shut down the ranch just for that. So we were like giving a lesson, and all of a sudden they're like, stop, sound, and then there's like maybe 10 people on horseback just sitting like that for 2 minutes. They're shooting a scene. Yeah, good to go. And the horses could go again. But yeah, no, it was fun.
Because I think a lot of people would get surprised when they hear of like how big the operation actually is over in, but what, you stable over 100 horses?
Yeah, so we probably stable, oh, with the Bronx include, probably yeah, between 120 and 130 horses.
Yeah, wow.
Then we got 9 or 10 bucking bulls, a couple of cows for the team penning lessons as well. Yeah, a bar that's fully operational on its own actually.
And
Yeah.
it's open 6 days a week?
Yeah, Tuesday to Sunday, and then Mondays are weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's hard work, but it's fun. Like it doesn't get you don't get bored. There's always something going on. There's yeah, it's
A-
something else.
And it's just a full family run ranch.
Yeah,
Just you, your dad, and your stepmom
yeah,
are there.
yeah. Because it started out as, I remember my dad did that 6 week rodeo show in the amusement park with the Americans, and then my dad turned out to be pretty handy, and the American guy came to my grandfather to say, "Hey, Bill, like your son, he's got potential. Like we want to take him to the States so he can go to college and all that." But my dad was kind of, my grandfather was kind of scared that my dad would go. So my grandfather told my dad, like, William, if you stay here, I'll build you your own cowboy ranch. And kind of started off as a joke, but then eventually they did it. They bought a little piece of land and like just chopped down the trees all by themselves and just started off with 4 horses and 2 saddles, like, and that's it. And then just grow, 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 and yeah,
And
no,
it sort of did it start off as a cowboy ranch, or it sort of started off a little bit English at the start?
just more as like a horse ranch, because
Yeah.
my grandfather was from England, and he was not stabled, stationed in Belgium with the army, and met my grandmother like that. So he stayed in Belgium. But of course, coming from England, he was like more dressage and jumping type of guy. And in the beginning, he's like to my dad, "All right, William, you can give one cowboy lesson a week." And then years go by, and all of a sudden, like it's just full
Got
cowboy. Yeah,
popular
it
and
got popular and full cowboy, and then the dressage, we quit doing that.
and you probably you and your father would owe like how good you speak English to your grandfather.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
100%.
Did he always spoke English to you in the house?
Yeah, he did like when there was other people around, he spoke Flemish, but
Yeah.
when we were just me and him together, he always spoke English to me. My dad spoke Dutch, and my granddad spoke English to me. Yeah.
So what's Flemish is a makeup of Dutch and French?
No, Flemish is just Dutch with an accent. It's kind of like Australians speak English with an accent.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You have Dutch, you get the just people who speak Dutch in the Netherlands, and then Belgians speak Dutch with a bit of a yeah accent. So
What was that song we're listening to today, the Bull Riding Fiend?
yeah, it's a Caden Gillard song, and I didn't know what it was. Bull riding fiend.
Fiend. Yeah, so you
Fe-
asked me that today, what a fiend means.
Yeah, because in Flemish, every time I hear that song, like in our language, if you say fiend, it kind of means faggot. So every time that song comes up, I just hear bull riding faggot. It's fucking weird, but now I know what it actually means.
I can tell why you like that song so much.
Ah, fuck off.
That sort of suits you.
Yeah, I won't play it anymore. I already deleted it from my playlist now.
So and it hasn't just been your ranch doing the movie stuff. You've done a lot of that stuff. You're on Farmer Wants a Wife, Belgium.
Yeah, so that was funny. So have you guys got that show in Australia?
Yeah,
Farmer
yeah,
Wants a Wife?
it's really popular over
Yeah.
here.
Well, it apparently it's really popular in Belgium too. But at the time, I didn't know. I knew it was a show, but I never watched it or had and like interest in it actually. And then one day I was watching TV. I still remember it. It was like a Wednesday at noon. I was having lunch watching some TV. Got a phone call from an unknown number, and I picked up, and they're like, "Hi, this is Emily from the VTM. That's like a big TV station in Belgium. From program Farmer Wants a Wife, and like we're looking for people who want to do it who are not like your regular farmers, who like a
Yeah.
bit different. And we saw your profile on social media and all that. And would you be interested in doing it?" And I was like, "Oh, like not. I'm at the time I wasn't looking for a girlfriend or anything.
You just gotten out of a long term
Yeah,
relationship at that
yeah.
stage.
I was just like chilling really, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, but like no obligations. Like this is how it works, and they explained it all to me. And actually, it was like at the then I when they once they explained it, I'm like, that might actually be like fun and just
Yeah.
a cool experience. And like I get the chance, might as well take it, and otherwise I'll probably regret it for the
Mm.
rest of my life. So yeah, we did it, and it was a cool experience. It was different, but definitely like I'm not regretting it
Yeah.
whatsoever. Yeah.
And the girl you chose on that, you're still with her now?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, with Amber. But it was fun. Like I chose her when at the end of the show. But then like once the show ended, we didn't got together right away. But then we ended up in the same group of friends, and we hung out. We were around each other for a lot of times. So eventually, like yeah,
Grew fond of each other.
grew
And
fond of each other, and it worked out. Yeah, and we live together now at the ranch and all that. It
because
was
really, starting a relationship behind a camera is probably not the best place to.
nah, it's not because you try to be yourself as good as you can, but
Mm.
if there's like 20 people and like cameras and all that, you're kind
Yeah,
of
you're
always
different.
a bit
Mm.
different, like more filtered.
Yeah.
But then, because the day's 24 hours and the cameras only probably 10, 12 hours, and then we all just sit down, have a drink with everybody, and that's when the real conversations like happen and all that.
Yeah.
But it was a wild experience because that first day, how they did it was like they shot a one episode at the ranch without it was just me talking and doing my daily stuff, but they never showed my face or anything. So you could hear me talk and see me do shit, but you didn't see who I was.
Yeah.
And they aired that on television, and then they said like, yeah, if you want to enter for this farmer or cowboy, let's just do this and this. And then a couple months later, that's when the real show started, and they had me sitting on horseback behind the big gate of our arena, and all the girls that entered up were in in the arena, like looking and um,
How many was it?
yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know at the time. They didn't tell me. So it could either, in my mind, it was going to be like probably 10 or 12, maybe five, maybe one. Like, what do I know? Like, because I didn't see the previous seasons. I couldn't, like,
Had nothing to go off.
yeah, nothing to go off. And then Dina, the girl who presents the show, she comes to me like, "All right, Junior, so you'll be here on horseback. I'm gonna give a speech, then we'll open the door, and you just ride in and like do a bit of trick riding, like jump on and off the horse and whatever. And then I'm gonna give you the mic, and then you gotta talk to the girls." But she still didn't tell me how many it were. And then she was doing her speech, and I was like real nervous, waiting behind the gate. And like all of a sudden, she's like, "Yeah, scream or do whatever," and it was like like a proper. I'm like, fuck, how many are there? But I got my heart started beating. I'm like, oh shit. I wasn't nervous about the horse riding part or doing the show, but afterwards, just like the mic and then talking to all of them. Yeah, so I got in there and it turned. I think it was like 98 or something or 89 of
Wow.
them. Like it was next.
And how did they structure it? You had to like how many did you have to pick on the first day to go to? Did they give roses or how did that work?
So there was let's say 90 of them, and then we did the show, and then I had to like do a little tour around the ranch and just like show the ranch. And then the hardest part was then we there was all of them like 2 meters from each other in the arena, and I had to go talk to every one of them for like a minute. 90 of them. But you're nervous. You're like, by the time you talk to number 20, you don't even, because you're nervous, you just say something like, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "What do I know?" And then at the end of that day, they gave the crew gave me 10 cowboy hats, and all the girls were out in the field, and I had to like walk around and give a hat to 10 of them. So from 90 to 10 the first day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, huh? Yeah. So I just went off feel really
Mm.
like you don't know anybody in a day. Like
Yeah. And wasn't there was a few girls from like your high school or something had entered
yeah,
or
a couple that like I knew are like girls that I gave lessons to or came on trail rides that I never would expect it to be. It was something. But then once it got down to 10, and then you spent like probably 2 days with 10 of them, and then it gets real fun. And then you go from 10 to 4, and the last 4 they spent probably I think 3 or 4 nights at the ranch, and then we all do like fun stuff and all that. And then you choose the last one, which was Amber, and then we got a like a 3-day holiday.
yeah,
That was real fun. Yeah.
where'd you just go?
It was still a bit during COVID, so it was other seasons they send them to like real cool destinations, but now it was all inside in our own country. But it was still cool. It was like a fancy hotel with like they had like a wakeboard park and like an adventure park and just a wellness and good restaurants. Just a cool experience.
I
Yeah.
remember you like because we speak pretty regularly, like,
Yeah.
and when that was all going on, you were telling me about some of the comments online of
Oh,
people saying that like you got mud in your eyes.
yeah. Like it was like I didn't expect once the show aired on television, like it went for 12 weeks and one episode every week, and it was like when when I had to choose people, like the moments you send people home, and then they always used to show small clips of that on Facebook and Instagram, and then the people reacting on it. Most of the time, it's like old ladies, and then they're like, "That cowboy's got shit in his eye," like throwing her out and keeping that one. I even got like just went to the bakery or to get a sandwich in my town, and then it was like, "Yeah, why'd you send her home?"
And how long after the filming of it was it aired?
Um, oh, it's been 2 years now. I think it aired in like March, like February, March, April, that period, and it got filmed September. I think.
Yeah.
I think it was like that. No, no, it was cool. It was real cool. I gotta
And
rewatch it. It's been a while since I've seen it.
were you real nervous how you were sort of gonna like come across?
Not come across, but what I was nervous about, people told me about it. Um, but it wasn't as bad I expected it to be. Let's say they have you do interviews and they ask you a certain question and you answer it with 10 sentences, but then they
And they
only
can
air
cut it
like
up.
4 sentences,
Mm.
and it sounds completely different, or they put a different context in it. So but it wasn't too bad actually. Like, I knew that up front, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just
It's
whatever.
it
Like,
makes you nervous though, eh? Because I did that Bondi Inc. TV show for the
Y-
tattooing,
Yeah.
and they'll film you for 12 hours in a day, and like they cut all that down to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Is
So
is what's on the actual television. So
it's
there's
crazy actually.
so
Yeah.
much gets said, and you can't remember, like, because the only way you can be authentic or like try to be as much yourself is to try to pretend that there's no
No
cameras.
cameras.
So
Yeah.
then you speak more openly, and then
Yeah.
after it's all done, you're like, did I say
Did I
like,
say that?
yeah?
Yeah, it's weird.
And if they want to destroy you, I guess they can. Like they've got enough, they can chop it up and like,
They just want to tell a good story or
yeah,
make for good television. Because I remember like one of the funnest things Amber and I did during the show was like we had this like real cool dinner, like good dinner, had a few drinks, and they filmed all of that. And then the crew was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna leave this camera here," but didn't really tell us it was still going. So, and then we gonna have dinner too. So they went down and had dinner somewhere, and then Amber and I were still sitting there and talking, having a good time, really good vibe. But sometimes there was maybe like 10 seconds where you're not saying anything or all that, or just looking at a strange, like doing something strange that normal people do. And then that's what they showed. They turned like that dinner on TV looked like we were like
awkward.
not talking, awkward. But actually, it was like probably the best dinner we had the
Yeah.
entire time.
Mm.
And that made for like the comments on socials. I thought, ooh, there's troubles in paradise. No. There's no troubles. That's what
He-
they make it out to be.
He's got shit in his eyes and
Yeah.
shit in his head.
Yeah, yeah, it was something. But I didn't expect that before I did it, but the promotion it brought to the ranch was unreal. Like the just people come, oh, is this the ranch from Farmer Wants a Wife? Coming for a drink or look at the bull riding and whatever. It was a good thing actually. Like
Yeah.
yeah, looking back at it for
Mm.
sure.
I think when opportunities like that come,
You got to
you
do it.
just gotta take it.
Oh,
Like,
for sure, 100%. Yeah.
'cause did that lead to much after that? Like, because I know you've done like different photo shoots and different.
Yeah, just like, you get a bigger following on
Yeah.
social media and like brings for more opportunities and fun stuff. Like just to build out your own brand. Like I made bull riding and rodeo more like public,
Yeah,
like
commonly known. Yeah.
commonly known. And I could explain people how it worked and all that because there was a lot of misconceptions about it. And now I had a wider range of reaching people, so I took advantage of that.
Yeah.
And it just like fun and a lot of fun things too, like people inviting you, oh, there's a new movie's premiering, don't you guys want to just come watch it and then just take a picture and like
Put it on your
put it
social
on your
media.
social media and all that. Just a lot of fun stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's been good. Yeah.
And who would be probably your biggest inspiration with your bull riding? Would be your dad?
Yeah, for sure. Like my dad, just his mindset and the way he lives for being a cowboy. That's really the biggest inspiration. But that's more to being a cowboy because my dad he was a good bull rider, but he was more of a bronc rider. He loved
Yeah.
broncs more. But then I was when I was playing soccer mainly, or football, European football or
Yeah.
soccer, how you call it
Soccer.
here, yeah,
Mm.
at a pretty high level. And then when I was 16, they start airing the PBR on European television, and JB Mooney was the big thing back then.
Yeah.
And I know, man, I was like, holy fuck, I want to be like that guy,
Yeah.
like, and then
Everybody that rides bulls wants to be JB.
yeah, he was the man,
It's just
like,
cool.
yeah, it's just proper cool. And then because we still at the time we bugged bulls and broncs at the ranch, but only like small, like maybe one bull a month or something, or one bronc. It wasn't
Yeah.
really a thing back then yet. But I had the opportunity, and I'm like, Dad, like, I think I want to just try to ride bulls. And I tried it when I was 16, and then tried again, did it again, and all of a sudden I'm like, dude, I want to do this. Like, I loved
Yeah.
it. And then I got real motivated because I sucked and I wasn't used to losing because we were like pretty good at soccer and our team always won and like we were used to winning.
Mm.
And then in my mind, fuck, I'm gonna ride bulls and I'll be good at it. But
Yeah,
It was the
it's not that sport, eh?
hardest thing I ever done.
Mm.
Like I got smashed 100 times before I even made a whistle once, and that was on bulls that didn't even bug that hard. I looked like a retard. Like, I didn't want, and I couldn't accept the fact that I wasn't good at
Good
it.
at it, yeah.
So like I got real motivated, and then I saved up a little money, and I bought two bulls from a guy not far from us to practice on, and then I could ride them every week and all that. And then I heard of Gary LeFew on from Facebook and all that, but then he actually came to Europe to do a clinic, and I entered up and I did the clinic, and it clicked between him and me, and then he invited me over to come spend a month at his ranch.
Yeah.
I think I was 18 or 19, yeah, probably 18 at the time, and that's when I went there. Probably got on 40 bulls in a month or 50 bulls in a month, and
Yeah.
like also mentally, Gary's real good on like the mental aspect side of things. And then yeah, because I probably stayed on 10 bulls in 10 years, in 2 years
Yeah.
before going there, and then I went there, trained my ass off, got back home, and won European title
Yeah, awesome.
that year, and just went from there. Yeah.
Yeah. And even I've noticed every time I come back there, there's 2 or 3 rodeos added for that calendar, like every year.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's growing, and I don't think it's gonna stop.
mm,
Like it's just
cause, but who's sort of big in each spot? I know Marco. Where's he based?
yeah. So you have Marco Bagatine and Marco Piazza. They're the two main guys in Italy.
Yeah.
So one of them's based in the north of like a bit more northern part of Italy, and Marco Piazza is based in Rome.
And he's the White Ranch.
White Ranch, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Marco Bagatine is the B&M Bucking Bulls.
Yeah.
And then in France, there's like you got Stefano.
Yeah.
He's
He's
got
like
the
the
best.
main sort of guy.
Yeah, he's got the best bulls, and he does a couple of shows at his ranch, but mainly just contracts. And then down south, the south of France, you have a lot of contractors.
Yeah,
You
like
got
Jesse's down there.
yeah, Jesse Megiddo. He used to be a really good bull rider, and then he got hurt, but now he's focusing on like breeding bulls and all
Yeah.
that. So he's got a cool place. He organizes a lot of shows too.
And then Enzo.
Enzo's doing it. Olivier Bourillon. He's got he doesn't really organize shows. He's like mainly he
Just
contracts for a
yeah,
lot of
just
shows.
carts bulls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cards bulls, but and he's got good bulls too. And then you have the Bucking Ranch. They got good bulls as well, but they focus more on broncs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
but
are they the guys that got the
the PRCA
NFR?
broncs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They because I think back in 2009 there was a one or was supposed to be a PRCA sanctioned event in Spain, but then they flew the Bronx over, but could get them back to the States or something, and then Laurent from the Bucking Ranch bought all the Bronx, and it was from I think I'm not sure, but I think they were from Pete Carr. So
Yeah.
there was a couple of NFR buckers in there, and then
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, because them like Bronx proper buck, their Bronx is good. Yeah,
Because like yous have like the bull riding's definitely getting there, but yous have um saddle bronc and bareback guys that keep up with the best of them every time they go overseas and everything.
yeah, like
Mm.
especially like the two Belgium guys, Kalena, Jordy, you met
Yeah.
Jordy, and Kevin. Kevin, he's retired now, but they went like they won checks in America at pro rodeos.
Yeah.
They could if they would go somewhere and put their minds to it, they could like
Yeah.
make a
Keep up with
living
the
out.
best of
Yeah,
it.
keep up with the best of them for sure. Um, no, and then we have like ranch bronc riding really took off in Europe too. There's a girl that works at our ranch, Ilona. She actually came second at the World Championship in Cheyenne this year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
Mm.
pretty cool.
And have you found a big boost from ranch bronc, like the female ranch bronc, since then?
Too much. Like
Yeah.
too many who want to do it for the Bronx we have,
Mm.
but that's a good thing as well. Like
And I think like and it's harder for yous because you just can't keep one, it's harder to get the stock, and two, yous just don't have a big country.
no, it's
So
you
like
don't have the land. Like
mm,
it's hard to here. You gotta. I know how big the pasture back here is, but you can just put like 100 bulls or 100
yeah.
Bronx on there and not be bothered. Well, we can't do that.
Because
But
what are yous on 18 hectare, was it?
um, yeah, but not like between 14 and 16 hectares.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
And then that's stabling 130 horses,
yeah,
bulls,
bulls, everything.
yeah, arenas, like
Yeah, the whole deal.
Mm,
And we get by, like we got good stables for the bulls too when they're out in the paddock every day and all that. But we gotta kind of, yeah, work, yeah, smart, be smart about it. Like
yeah,
we can't just say, we'll get 20 bulls and just keep them here. Like we can't
yeah.
do that. But no, but we're definitely going in the right direction for sure.
And because it's everything's a lot dearer too, like harder to get bulls. So the ones that are over there are
Oh,
more
for sure.
expensive. Yeah,
Yeah. Like if you
like
wanna, yeah, you gotta pay good money if you wanna buy a bull that's bred to buck.
yeah,
Like you could most most of my practice bulls, I just got them from a farmer next door, and I always tell him like, hey, if you got something that looks like it could buck or is a bit athletic or wild, like just let me know.
yeah.
And then most of them are just like cool jump kickers. Some of them turn back, but they can have 2 trips every week and just as long as they want. And it's cool for the guys because there's no point in having 10 bulls and all 10 open bulls if you got
Guys just
guys
starting.
just starting
Yeah,
out. You want some confidence builders. And the main thing, especially the first 100 rides, is just like they gotta love it and
mm.
just have a good feeling and then go from there.
And because like that bull Dark Knight,
Yeah.
if he was in Australia, you'd probably buy him for I reckon between 5 and 8,000 at the
Yeah.
highest. And like he's worth like 20,000 euro over
Yeah.
there. Mm.
Yeah. There's
So that's
not
a massive jump.
massive jump.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, and because they're so like them real good bulls are rare to get by in Europe, like especially Dark Knight, he's the best at the moment. Stefano, I asked him as a joke, like, you sell him, and he's like, yeah, for 20,000. Like,
Everything's got a
never mind.
price.
Yeah,
So you managed to buy
yeah. Well, all right, never mind. I'll just get on him at rodeo.
him. But
Yeah.
he's your main contractor with your shows, you and him.
Yeah, because Stefano is only 6 hours from the ranch,
Yeah,
like, and we've been working since the beginning together. And his bulls, like, they buck, they handle good, like they make for a good show, which is important in Europe too, because people don't understand bull riding, and most people in Belgium and Europe have like a wrong uh, feeling about it still. Oh, it's animal abuse and all this
yeah,
shit. So we really got to make sure we bring it correctly, like
yeah,
the
and
way
educate him.
educate them, like yeah, because a few years ago when we really started out doing them big shows, like the we call it Chaya, it's like Animal Protection
Yeah, yeah.
Service or something. They call us up. I called my dad up and like, yeah, you can't do this, not in this country, all like that kind of shit.
Trying to shut you down.
Yeah, but there were people who didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah,
But my dad, he's like real good at that type of situations. He
and
just
he's a showman too. Like
yeah, yeah,
he can talk.
he can really talk. And he was just like, hey, I understand how you think, but like at least educate or try to educate before you have an opinion about something.
Yeah,
So my dad invited that organization, gave him like a pass, like wherever they wanted to go, backstage, behind the shoots, on the shoots, didn't matter,
mm,
wherever. Just like look at it and then tell us how you think about it. And yeah, they saw everything, the broncs, the bulls, and they're like, fuck, these animals live like kings. Like
yeah.
they get treated properly, good, like and now they understand the sport, and we haven't had trouble with it since.
And they come to your shows now.
Yeah, they come to our shows.
Mm.
A couple of them come do trail rides at the ranch,
Yeah,
and like
awesome. Totally flipped once
totally
they
flipped
got
because now they
educated.
actually know what's going on.
Yeah,
And now they realize like rough stock, bull riding and bronc riding is probably one of the only sports with animals that is rougher for the rider than for the animal.
oh, 100%.
It just looks real rough, and it is
Yeah,
rough, but for us, not for them.
yeah.
It's
Well, like you look at, especially in the bucking horses, the ages that they can compete at a really high level, you
oh
won't find in any other
no, no,
sport.
no.
Like, y- like a 6-year-old racehorse is old.
Yeah,
Mm,
and a couple of years ago at the NFR, they won a round on like a 27-year-old bronc.
yeah,
Like
that's amazing.
that's crazy.
Mm,
Like so they just say, but a lot of people tend to have like this idea about something while they don't know anything about it, and
yeah,
that's just
yeah, I get them people. There's some people that just don't know about it,
yeah,
and you have a chance to sort of explain it to them,
yeah,
educate them, and there's other people that they don't want to know.
yeah.
They've made
They're
their
like
mind up, and that's it.
whatever.
Like,
I think that's right. So
yeah,
they're like,
yeah, that and you could talk till you're blue in the face, but you're wasting your time
Yeah.
because they've already made their mind up, and whatever you tell them, you're just a lion
You're just a
cowboy
lion
that's
cowboy.
trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always have them type of
Mm.
people, but it is what it is.
So, what's probably the best piece of advice you've got off anyone, like with your bull riding?
Um, Stay positive.
Yeah.
Like, because in the beginning, you always kind of expect yourself, oh, you got to ride everything. And you
Mm.
got to have that mindset. But even if you buck off a couple in a row, just doesn't matter. I'll get it. I'll
Yeah.
get it. I'll get it. As long as you stay positive, that's when most things work out.
Yeah. Once you roll your bull rope up,
Yeah.
then you've forgotten about it.
Yeah. You remember
Reset.
the good things.
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, you correct it. You pack up your gear back and on to the next one. Like,
And you probably got a lot of that positive energy from your father.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like a real positive person. And yeah, for sure.
And
Uh,
it's pretty amazing too, like how he started at the pizza place to now what he
Crazy.
spends 8 hours in a saddle every day.
Yeah, and he's 62 at the moment. He
Yeah.
still rides probably between 20 and 30 hours a week. Like, just talking shit on horseback, and people love it. Like, it's good.
He was the first person I seen that actually had a tooled ashtray on his
On his
saddle.
saddle. Yeah, he's like, every time people go on trail rides at Orange, they're like, can we smoke on horseback? And my dad's like, yeah, sure you can. 'Cause he's always smoking. He's got this thing behind his horn to put his ashes in and all that.
And
Yeah.
he's got his old flip phone
Flip a Nokia. What is it?
with a tooled pouch that has
33.
it
Yeah, that's it. He's set up. He's got his Siggy phone. Yeah, just his horse doing his thing. Yeah, he could ride that horse just on the phone, smoking a Siggy, not worry about it. Just
Yeah, just drop the reins and
yeah,
it knows its
it
job.
knows his job. Yeah.
And how many people would you take on trail rides per week on average?
But if you come, let's say the lessons, trail rides, everything combined, last year, all weeks together, we averaged 330 riders every week.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And that's the trail rides mainly you and your father?
Yeah, most people like most trail rides is my dad and me, but then we have a couple like Ilona, that girl I
Yeah.
was talking about, and a couple other people doing them. And then Maxine, you
Yeah.
met Maxine, she does a lot of them, and but she mainly gives like the barrel racing lessons and all
Yeah.
that. But no, we've got a good team at the ranch.
And let's touch a bit on Maxine because she's obviously a big part of the ranch.
Yeah, she grew up at the ranch like
Yeah.
when she was like 10 years old.
You just grew up pretty much together.
Yeah,
Mm.
we did a little bit. Yeah, it's
And
a great, yeah.
and she won the European title in the barrel race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won it in I can't remember, yeah, like 2 years ago I think.
Yeah.
She won European title, yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of just after COVID, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, just after it. But that was real cool and rewarding and good for the ranch too,
Yeah.
because she was already widely respected within the barrel racing community, especially in Belgium, but then winning that European title really
Boosted
boosted
everything.
it,
Yeah.
because like a lot of people like need like they tend to believe in someone better if they've proven
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
instead of trusting he or she is probably good
Mm.
at that. But now she proved it like to everybody, and then
It's like that with a lot of sports. I know with back in the day, because obviously I had the boxing background.
yeah,
Jeff Fennick won a world title, and then all of a sudden all the boxing gyms are full
yeah,
because all kids see it, and,
see
and
it,
like
yeah,
because an Australian from Sydney, and he made it possible,
yeah.
and he made it all the way. Then kids that are
It's
local
motivating, yeah.
think that they can do it too because someone just down the road from them has
Did it,
done it.
yeah.
So she's pretty much that for a
For the
lot of
barrel
young
racing,
girls
yeah,
coming up.
for sure, for
And
sure.
you had a big the horse she won it on. Where's he from?
Fame is the name of the horse, and he's from Marlene McRae up
Yeah.
in Texas. She won, I think, 2 barrel racing world titles and like 11 or 12 NFR qualifications, like
And she won a gold medal at the
at the
88
Olympic Games. Yeah,
Olympics same year as Lane
Lane
Frost.
Frost did it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's crazy
Yeah.
actually to think about it. Yeah, no, because Marlene came over to our ranch, oh, a long time ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, to give a clinic, barrel racing clinic, and then we got good friends with like our family and Marlene, and then Maxine spent a couple of months at Marlene's place in Texas just to improve riding and all that. And then the opportunity came for us to buy a young, promising horse,
Yeah.
which is always a risk because it's a lot of money and all the transport and all that. But then eventually, yeah, it worked out and won
Yeah.
European title.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's cool.
And that was a big your father and Maxine worked in together to make that deal happen.
Yeah, yeah. My father, Maxine, and Marlene and Caroline, my
Yeah.
father's wife. Yeah, they all kind of work together to
Because
make
I
it happen.
remember Maxine telling me about she actually traveled with him,
Yeah,
like on the plane.
on the plane and all that. Yeah,
Yeah. How long was it? And she was like stuck in quarantine or something. And
probably 40-hour trip or something, maybe longer. I don't-
because
Wow.
I remember she told like once they finally got out, her and the horse, she just burst into tears. She was like so
So
exhausted.
exact because it started off like they were loading him up, not on the airplane, but before I think they load him up to a trailer, all of them, and that trailer where they were on dropped off the truck or something, like
Mm.
they fell off, and it's like crazy. So it wasn't a good experience for the horse, but then eventually it all worked out.
And once you're all said and done, what do you like? What do you want to be remembered for?
Not sure yet. I'm not
Not
done yet.
sure.
So
Not
nah,
done.
I can't. No,
Do
I
Do
don't
you want
know.
to be more remembered for your bull riding or for what you've done, you and your father have done for the sport in Europe? Like,
I probably both.
yeah,
I think that's gonna go hand in hand
yeah,
because my like you said, I accomplished like quite a lot of things riding bulls in Europe
mm,
because like I probably yeah maybe 4 titles or something
yeah,
European titles and then but I want to do more than that now. I
mm,
want to then my next goal was to win a pro rodeo somewhere and
yeah,
I did that now and now I want to now eventually I want to just get healthy and make it big in a PBR and then
yeah.
go from there and I always
Make
want to
finals
make
and
finals.
mm,
Yeah, I want to be first European to make PBR Australia finals and then PBR American final and
yeah.
world finals.
You keep building from
I
that.
yeah, keep building and like you said, like the more I I level up, the more reach we will get to make the sport grow in Europe.
Yeah,
Like so it kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, we're definitely going in the right direction.
and you want to keep the ranch very similar how it is now. Like,
Yeah,
still have that many horses and
definitely not bigger.
yeah,
Not I mean not like horse wise and lesson wise and all that. No, because it's at the point where it's like good, but more would like
it's too
too
much.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you still got to be able to enjoy it.
mm,
So no, it's good as it is, and then as the years go on, you kind of figure out how
mm,
you want it because now it's still more in the system how my dad build it up, and then by the time it's really all on my shoulders, and then of course Amber, Maxine, and Caroline, maybe we want to. It's always gonna have that same gypsy feeling, but you always got to do it that you're happy and content at what
yeah,
you're doing. So we'll
yeah.
see how that goes.
Not all big is not always better.
No, not
No.
always better. No, like
And
me, I'll really love like I love like working at the ranch and all that, but I really live for like the shows.
yeah,
Like I love like riding bulls in a big show, setting up a big show. I just
yeah.
like doing that store. It's like
Mm.
horse riding in front of 20,000 people. I
Because you
live
do
for
trick riding and all that.
yeah,
Yeah,
like trick riding and all that, and that's really what I get most joy out of.
yeah.
So I really want to focus on that type of things. Yeah,
And I don't think a lot of people realize like how big your days actually are, and you have to be on all day. Like,
it
cause
never stops. Huh?
you
Like
used to like your place was above the bar,
yeah,
so like once you roll down at 7 in the morning, you might be doing trail rides to 10 at night,
yeah,
and then you wait until the bar's closed
closed
at
and
sometimes 2, 3 in the morning,
yeah,
and then get back up at 7 the next day.
yeah.
And because you're with customers, you're on
On
all day. You
like
have to,
working with horses is easy, but working with people that's the hard part.
yeah,
Like getting keeping all the customers like happy and all that.
mm,
That's really drowns the energy. But like we're lucky we got like a good family and a good team doing it. Because
yeah,
let's say at certain days that I really have to get up early to do stables and horses, I'm not going to be the one staying up till 1 or 2 at night to make sure the bar closes. Then my dad does, or so like we kind
yeah,
of
switch in and work
we can
together.
like kind of work together. Yeah, it wouldn't be possible otherwise. It would be too much. Yeah.
And we haven't touched on your mum at all. Is she like horse rider or?
Yeah, yeah. But just like she just likes doing trail rides and all that. Nothing competitive
Yeah.
or that. But no, when she was still together with my dad, she always kept her own job. But then, of course, at the ranch, wherever she was needed, she helped out and she was riding and all that. But no, she's doing real good, and
Yeah.
she supports me in whatever I do. Really. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's good. Your father and your mum still have a great relationship. Like
Yeah.
every time I've been there, they're just
Oh,
like
for sure.
best friends still.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
They still like they still talk good and all that, and
yeah.
that's good. But I think they really did it too because when they separated, I was only probably 5 or 6 years old, so they kind of it's not nice being a kid and having two parents fighting each other all the
Yeah.
time. But it was like it wasn't nice having separated parents, but it worked out good because like let's say my dad lived here, my school was here, then my mom lived there. It was only
Yeah.
like 20 minutes either way, and normally I was supposed to be 2 days with my dad, 2 days with my mom, 2 days with my dad. But if it turned out to 3 days or 4 days, it never really
Yeah. It was
mattered.
never a big
No,
issue.
never a
Yeah.
problem. Like it was good, as good as it could be.
Yeah.
Actually, like yeah, no, it's yeah something.
Cool, man. Well, it was a pleasure having you on,
It
and
was a
I
cool
always,
experience.
yeah,
My very first podcast ever.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
cool.
I thought we'd start with you, so we can only go up.
Go uphill.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck with out of the way with.
We'll start with the bull riding fiend or faggot, and then we'll build from there.
Yeah, ass stitches and
Split open buttholes.
split open buttholes and both. That'll be a good name for the episode.
No, it's been a pleasure, man, and
Yeah,
we
it's
love
good.
having you over here.
Thank you, brother.
And the whole rodeo community in Australia always enjoy having you over, and
I
I
love
think it
being
opens a lot
over.
of people's eyes that like
Yeah,
you traveling actually educates everyone else that there is
it's
rodeo in Europe
for
and it's
sure.
big.
Cause like the first time I ever came over, like, and people didn't mean it like that, but I was behind the shoots, and, like from Europe, and they're like, "What's he doing here? Like,
Yeah,
does he even know how to put a bull rope on a bull or all that?" But then after a while, if you make a couple of good rides or just try hard and be a good person or try to be a good person, you you get respect from
Mm,
people and it opens up their eyes like, oh, they actually do ride bulls
yeah.
or be cowboys over there.
Well,
So
it was that tri series when you first flew in,
yeah,
and then your first rodeo. You placed on the
yeah,
Friday.
yeah. I placed
One,
fourth at Kyabram, and then the day later I won Merigic,
yeah.
and then just went from there.
Then people take notice
Yeah,
once you.
yeah, it was good. It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's only just the beginning, but yeah, we're
What
gonna keep going.
what's one message to like if a kid's watching this? What would you tell them like to get them started with bull riding or just being a cowboy?
Um, just always keep learning
Yeah,
and like and just take something from everybody. Like it's
yeah,
not because he's a world champ that you have to do it exactly like him. Because whatever works for him might not work for you because he's 6 foot and you're 5'10", or like
yeah,
there's differences, but you can learn something from everybody and then find your own way and do what makes you happy. Because
yeah,
if you gotta love something, I believe you gotta love something first before you can get good at it.
yeah,
If you don't enjoy it fully, don't do it.
yeah. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
you're not
last.
doing it.
It's too tough.
Especially something as high risk as bull riding.
Yeah,
Just make sure if you love it, then go
yeah,
full at it. But if not, then don't do it. Like,
yeah. You can half-ass playing badminton, but
you
you
can't.
can't do it riding bulls.
No, you can't. No, definitely. When I first started, I thought when I looked people doing it who were good at it, I think, fuck, they make it look easy. Like I could do that shit. It's the
Oh
hardest
dear,
thing
oh
I've
dear.
ever done.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I tell people, like, 'cause I had the boxing and then tattooing to like a high level,
yeah,
and I sort of like approached bull riding like that. I thought I'd do it a lot easier. I thought within like 6 months I'd be riding bulls pretty good, and then within 2 years I'd make finals.
yeah.
And it's it doesn't work like that. Well, because it's so different to a lot of other sports
Yeah,
where like boxing, you can be the fittest and win fights from being so fit.
yeah.
Like the fittest bull rider doesn't ride
Well,
bulls good.
not necessarily. No.
Yeah, like you got to be in shape, but like you being the fittest doesn't.
No, and it's like you said, like let's say you start riding bulls and you can keep riding 2 or 3 years nonstop without getting hurt. You can get good quick.
Mm,
But a lot of times with bull riding, like you'll be riding real good and you feel as good as gold, and then you get hurt and you can ride for 2, 3 months, get in a slump, and it kind of yeah. There's a lot
yeah.
of different factors playing into
Mm,
it, but that's why I always come back, just stay positive and keep going, and it'll work out eventually.
I
Yeah,
like that quote. It's if you quit, there's 100% chance
you won't
you
make
you
it.
won't make
Yeah,
it. And with bull riding, there's a lot of guys that everybody's like, oh, he won't make nothing. He's this and that, but he's stuck at it. Might have taken him longer, and then end up being one of the best in the
yeah,
country.
for sure,
Mm.
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
So
Yeah, every champion was once a loser who didn't quit.
yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, man, and we'll get you back on and
Thanks,
do it all
brother.
again.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.